And a lot of fathers feel that they're not valued, they don't count, and they're not appreciated.
As we dive in, can you just tell us a bit about Dad Central for those who don't know?
It's been around for over 20 years, and the organization has supported and engaged dads, trained dads, written for dads, and many of us are dads ourselves or caregivers. And we have the most recent research and insights that validate the importance of dads and have developed the most successful fatherhood programs and resources validated by feedback directly from dads. So if you're a dad or if you're a guy who's a caregiver, we can help you.
Like, we're going to dive into this more as we go, because outside of your work, and I'm sure Dad Central also does this, but you deconstruct the social norms around fatherhood. And as I mentioned in my intro, one of those constructs is that fathers are men, don't take paternity leave. And I love how you talked about fathers being caregivers, even in your description, just prior to me asking this question, because there is this construct that, women are caregivers or mothers, or, the woman in a heteronormative couple, it's their job to raise children, to be the caregivers. What is wrong with the social construct, and how does that construct actually harm men?
Well, I don't think it's reality, because in the context that you gave the question, there are two people, not just one. So it's two people involved, and parenting is a role in the context that you've given me and our audience, father and mother. So when we hear this contract that fathers are not engaged in their child or children's lives, it gives a negative portrayal of fathers. And a lot of fathers feel that they're not valued, they don't count, and they're not appreciated. And it can be very harmful, because with the many fathers I work with, one of the questions I'll ask them, one of the first questions is, what is one of the most important moments, or the most important moment in your life? And the majority will tell me, the birth of my child or my children.
Wow.
So it's a bad deconstruct that's been going on for longer than you and I have been around. But organizations and initiatives like this one, we're here to change the narrative.
And the action, not just the talking, but the action.
Yes.
There's convincing scientific evidence, and I'm sure you're well versed in this, that men taking parental leave has widespread benefits to everyone in the household, the children, their partners, and actually to themselves. What are some of those benefits that you see and you share and you talk about with the fathers you work with?
Well, there's a number of, I'll cover about 3 or 4 here. We could go on forever, but one of the things, it's strengthened partnerships, because, and we can use what we've been through over the last 14 months. A lot of fathers were now at home. So now they were engaged into, like, not to say they weren't engaged day to day, but they were more engaged in the child or children's lives. So now that role became more significant, because the father was there more. He was not only present, but he had presence more day to day. And when you have that in the context we're chatting about today in regards to a mother and father, 2 is better than 1. And if the 2 are working together, not only does that help the relationship between the father and the mother, but it also improves the relationship between the children and the father. So everybody wins. Everybody wins in that situation. So say a young father for the last number of months, or if he has parental leave, he can take care of the baby.
Yeah.
He lightens the mother's load. And also our young people, they watch what's going on. So when that father's home, it gives a really big impact on what a family should look like to that child. Even though that child may be really young, they're learning, they're listening. They're getting at a very early age what a family should look like, what a family should sound like. What does mommy do? What does daddy do? All those things. Also, another thing it brings too is increased happiness and fulfillment. You have the family home. There's care, there's stories to be shared, there's events to be shared. So it helps everybody in the family, because it's more a communal family in regards to there's people taking roles and responsibilities very seriously. And one of the biggest benefits is that fathers spend more time to bond with their children. So many studies show that paternity leave, especially longer leave, can help dads become more nurturing fathers and more supportive partners. So those are just some of the things that I'd like to share today.
Those are big things.
Actually, one other thing too, sorry, I forgot. It also supports gender equality. I've had conversations with gentlemen from Quebec who have taken paternity leave, and it's almost like they had another baby. They birthed another baby. It's something they weren't exposed to, but they're so happy that they were able to spend that time with their family. And as I said, this pandemic, we almost had pat leave. It was a form of pat leave, but they all say how good it was, and they're so happy, and how much they learned about being a father, being more engaged, and also becoming better men, because they felt more valued because their role, they had an active opportunity to be a role maker, a playmaker, a decision maker, engaged in their family. And as we say at Dad Central, it's not how much time you spend with your children, it's what you do with the time you spend with your children. And now they had an opportunity, in Quebec especially, you have that amplified opportunity to be more engaged with your children, because you as a father, you are having a positive impact to the future. Many studies show that the more engaged a father is, the better potential outcomes are for those children.
You can learn more at Level the Playing Field. And please share this video on social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn so we can elevate the equity conversation.